Hi, I'm Sarah Kepros, a reading specialist here at Kirkwood. Now that you've prepared yourself to read that textbook chapter, let's talk about how to actually read it and engage yourself critically with that chapter. So one thing that I have read when I was studying about how to help students successfully understand chapters that they're reading and texts they're reading, I read from Harvard University, and Harvard tells their freshmen coming in to throw away their highlighters. And when I first read that, I thought, seriously? But it really makes sense. Often when we highlight a bunch of stuff, we go back later and we have no idea why we highlighted what we highlighted. Instead, throw that highlighter away, get that pen or pencil out, and find yourself engaging with that text in an intensive way by annotating on the side. And all annotating means is to write your thinking as you go. So as you're reading a section, if you have a question that comes to mind, write it down in the margins. If you make a connection to another class you've taken or to another book or movie you've watched, write that connection in the side. Then when you go back, you are studying for a quiz or a test, you can really read all those annotations and remind yourself of the big ideas and the big connections that you made while you were reading that chapter, and that's going to help your comprehension immensely. If you don't want to write inside your book, use a Post-it note. Write on a little Post-it note and stick it in your book, and you can do the same thing. So I took some time to read and annotate the first few pages of Chapter 3, Nature, Nurture, and Human Diversity. And I found that as I was reading, a lot of this information was factual and new, as it would be if you were reading any type of textbook. So what was helpful for me was to take a little bit of time to just restate the big ideas, determine the importance of what I was reading. And I did that with my 2 sticky notes on page 67 and the first sticky note on page 68. Then I wanted to also ask some questions, and I found myself on page 68 wondering if identical twins can have any differences genetically. So I asked that question. As I continued to read, I started to have some connections, and I made a connection to my own fraternal twins. I have twin daughters, and I did that on 69. And then I also made a connection to a story I had watched on TV about 2 twin girls from China who were adopted by 2 different families and just happened to meet up later in life, but yet were so alike. So as you're thinking about making your annotations, try to vary what you're doing. Restate big ideas, make connections, ask questions, give your opinions on things in order to really actively engage with your reading. Now that you've watched me annotate and had a go at it yourself, we'll come back for habit number 4 next time and analyze after we've read our text.